Buenos días, muchachos. Me llamo MasterBlast09 y hoy we are going to be here. All night long. We got our #1 contestant coming in right now, and his name is El Señor Muchacho Grande. Thanks for Vapor.
What's up, everybody? How's he doing? I just realized that
him still being muted for some reason because someone probably can't see out of their mask is Fubaka.
Hello.
Hello. And last but not least, with hoofs that make the clop clop sound of his favorite team, the Cloppers, it's the high horse himself. Understudy, I lost my Reddit account because I'm a bundle of sticks. 77.
Fuck you. Hi, everybody.
Welcome to the most professional show in vaping.
So
we have officially taken too long doing this intro. So
yes, we have. But one of the cool things
about
wearing a mask, I got to do it while it's still on. But
oh yeah, totally.
Glass.
Dude, this is not gonna feel good.
No, it does not.
Dude, this mask is... Oh, your mask is worse.
As long as I close my eyes, it doesn't burn too bad.
I think Ahmed wins.
One more go. One more go, Foo.
That was awesome. It went everywhere. I think my favorite part is it comes out of his eyes.
The number 505000 asking for permission to vape. Wait
that actually
for the cloud tower to clear me.
That
they said okay.
At all.
Permission granted. I'm up higher than everybody else.
It didn't go in my eyes, which is nice. I was like, I was already half squinted in the mask.
Right before everybody went live, everybody just started putting on shit they had laying around their desks.
Yeah, well, you know.
It's a surprise to everyone.
Yeah, well, we haven't had one of those kind of intros in a little while. But how is everyone doing tonight?
Look, I can catch it. I can catch it on my hat.
I was...
Nice. Look at that shit.
What was ordinarily a 45-minute subway ride for me, 40 minutes, turned into almost 2 hours today. Thanks, MTA.
You're the real MVP.
The real MVP.
I've got like a lamp that's right over there that's like one of those upward facing lamps or whatever, like a halogen ones. And I totally will walk by it sometimes and just kind of go and blow some vape, let it drop down in there because it makes a cool little effect.
So should we actually start tonight with what we're vaping on?
That was actually going to be my #1 news thing because we do often forget, and Mass remembered last week.
So let's start before we even start the news with what we're vaping on.
Yeah, that's cool.
I am vaping on my Vapor Shark, my Hellfire UFO, and a wonderful, wonderful bottle of LabRat's Brown Betty, which is somewhere on my desk, and now I lost it. And I'm sad.
Make it really hard to drip.
It's lovely, and it's making me happy, and I also have my A-Mods K-Fun and Raspberry. What about you, Angsty?
Rose with Raspberry, as usual. This K-Fun has got Grizzly Vapes front porch because I haven't had it in a while, and I saw it in my shelf juice, so I threw it in there, and it's really awesome. It's got that lychee thing going on with the lemonades and the very interestingness. It's a little
it tastes exactly like mown lawn.
No, I know what you said it does, but it doesn't taste anything like that to me. It's got that weird lychee kind of soury kind of almost. It's like right on the edge of.
You thought I forgot. I just had to find it. I got some gay.
Thank you. I only said it once. He asked me what I was vaping on. No, the thing with lychee to me is it's got that almost bad fruit taste. Like it's got kind of the sour funkiness going on, but it's a really good like palate cleanser-y kind of juice though. It's really the Mango Dragon Madness is another one like that. That's a little sour and a little different, and it helps kind of clean out the nose to me. What about you, Fu?
I've got my Stellar clone on my Nemesis clone with the real chuff top.
Real chuff top.
Dripping raspberry. And I got the Staff of Agamemnon with the Odin on top with my Fuck Baked Tobacco drip tip that I got from Frizzle at.
that Addy looks so sad.
I've seen a few at fake chuff caps.
Yeah.
And by far, the worst one
my coworker has one. He has a stainless one on his tobe.
The worst one that I have seen, though, has no O-rings. It is press fit. Several of them fit no addies, and it's sharp. Like, the mouthpiece is sharp. It is fucking junk.
That's not good for something you put in your mouth. I don't want to put sharp things in my mouth.
And I'm dripping, on the Odin, I'm dripping Creme de la Crepe by Epicus Nebula.
I would like to tell you, you do need to pick up a 26650 style Addy though, because that thing looks kind of preposterous on the top of that thing.
Dude, I just love the Odin on an OKR so much because I got 10 wraps of 26 on here, dual coil 0.5.
Yeah.
And it's already a flavor Addy, and I like it too much to go with like a more fitting size Addy.
No doubt.
Shut up, dogs! Freaking made tacos today, and they're like hyper. I don't understand.
Straight up, this Odin was the best purchase I've made in vaping in a while.
That is one that I would consider buying. I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Yeah.
My only gripe is the top cap. Well, I was hoping it would be a two-piece top cap, but that was fine. But it's so tight against the deck. If there's any juice that builds up along the wall around the deck on the outside, it'll basically just start shaving it down. And you'll get because this doesn't fit flush, so I'll see like little dribbles hanging off.
I had the same issue with the Quasar, and that was one of my biggest complaints with that, as well as all the time I would end up with fucking juice.
But the kind of vape I get on this makes it worth it.
Hey,
and if they do put out a version 2, I'll probably try and scoop that top cap because
who am I?
on 2-piece. But yo, Mass, what's up? What you vaping?
Who am I? Fat Gaiden. So I'm vaping on 28 millimeter Tobe with the not a chuff, the original, no clone, Voop Life, with the real there, and we are vaping some Statch E-Liquid from the Vaporator himself.
Fuck yeah.
Delicious stuff.
Darkstar?
And, no, I'm actually vaping Lushington right now.
Yeah, I gotta get me some Lushington.
Fucking Lushington was phenomenal.
I really like Darkstar.
Delicious stuff. And I am vaping on the Sigelei 100 watt that I'm not going to show you too much because we'll be talking about it later. So,
one of my local shops just fucking put in an order. They should have his juice this week or next week, actually. Mean Street Vapor is going to be carrying Raider stuff, which means I'm going to be going over there to get more.
Nice.
Nice.
I will say that even though I got the song played on it, don't look at the Addy, but I am vaping on my Mass Mods Micro DNA.
Oh, yeah.
This thing just has not gotten old. The other thing I wanted to say before we get too far into this, if you are having problems with chat, don't forget that on the home page you can click the little chat bubble and it'll give you the direct web link instead of using the login guy, which hopefully works better for you. That's all. What you got for news, man?
Me? Oh yes, the MVP killer, as I've been told it's called, the iStick from eLeaf. They make the iSmoke at BCC and the Magoo. And anyway, they're putting out Oh, it is out now. The iStick. Let me drop a link in chat.
Yeah, dude, I mentioned that on the show a few weeks ago because one of our Hangout guys reviewed it, and I put the link out there. But it's I didn't actually
totally
realize.
flew over my head.
Yeah,
I didn't
clearly
realize
none of us are listening to you.
I didn't realize that it was out that, so it's good to call it out. Have you seen any go in the shop then? Did he freeze?
Yep.
Awesome. Is he back?
He's
back. Oh, he's back. He's muted. He's unmuted. He's muted.
I'm good.
He's good.
So have you seen any move in the shop yet then? Do you have any in the shop?
No, I told when I heard about it, I told my manager about it. Told him to look into it because there was what was it? It's freaking awesome. It is smaller than an MVP. You sacrifice a little bit of battery. Here, someone want to screen share that ish. Put in chat.
I can you.
It's shorter. Shorter than the MVP. It's got 2,200 milliamp hour battery, and it supposedly goes to 20 watts. And this thing is like $60, $65. You can probably find it as low as 50. $50. There you go.
Look at that.
Bad. That's a nice fatty battery too to squeeze that kind of power out of.
2,200 mile.
If it only goes up to 20 watts, man, 2,200 mile lasts you quite a while.
Fuck it, dude. That is honestly the first thing that I've seen that would make me be like, fuck the MVP for a starter.
Yeah, but $50 versus 25, 30.
But the MVP is usually 40 to 50.
No, not if you're
most
shop.
like brick and mortars and shit.
Yeah, and brick and mortars definitely. But
if brick and mortars can get this in a similar price range, fuck yeah, it'll kill it.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. And we obviously don't know if it's as bulletproof as the MVP is yet, but
yeah, that's the thing. The MVP is it is a tank.
Yeah.
Oh, it is absolutely.
And just because I like the guys, because they were one of the first few online vendors I ordered from, vapingme.com. They've got MVPs on sale all the time. So if you ever
that's where I got both my MVPs from.
Those guys are Michael. I think his name's Michael. That he's just a cool dude, man. He's always friendly. His customer service great, cheap prices, low threshold on free shipping. Good dude. Anyway,
$30 if I recall.
Yep. And they're authentics too. Not any of that weirdo clone of MVP junk and stuff that's going around.
Yeah. What else you got, Foo?
What was the other? Oh yeah, today. Shit, I haven't pulled up a picture of this, but
Put it in. I can pull it up for you.
The champion. It's like a DNA mod made by Stickman. I got to see one of those today at work, and
They're gorgeous.
I got to play it, dude. I was just it's pretty. It's like fairly heavy for its size because it's a 26,650 box, but
they're $730.
$730, but goddamn, was it clean? Wow.
So much money though.
Is definitely a nice looking mod.
I reached out to him.
It is like it's like fine china.
Now, see, I reached out to him when I first saw it. I thought it looked really fucking good. I hit him up. I'm like, hey man, you make a cool mod. We'd be interested in having you come on the show. He goes, oh yeah, I know who you guys. We're shy though. We don't really want to do that. I'm like, okay, cool. I said, side note for myself, I'd be interested in possibly picking up one. Because I'm thinking if you're going to make pretty much a Wapari clone with a 26650, your price market's going to be trying to go lower than the Wapari. So I'm like, I could probably afford that. How much is it? $730. Never mind.
Wow.
You're gonna make a $730 Wapari clone or a 26650 Wapari clone and charge almost twice the price of the Wapari. I'm good.
And the thing is, though, honestly, if I made a larger sum of money and just wouldn't think twice about it, dude, I would totally scoop one.
This just in. CloudPour T5 75 watt update is apparently frying devices. Worth mentioning, since it's being talked about in chat. The firmware update has fried devices and is causing terribly nasty issues. Do not update your CloudPour T5.
Go CloudPour. I had a guy who was going to send one into the show, and He's like, maybe I'll hold on to it now until this update comes in and
Well, hopefully you didn't just
blow
fry
his
it.
shit up.
Well, if he fries it, he can still send it in. Then you can
like a didn't kind of fucking like breaking news. What else you got, Fu?
That's about it for me.
Cool. So I have been, due to like personal schedule, and we had con a couple weeks ago and all this other stuff, I'm like a month and a half behind on vaping videos, right? So I started catching up because I had a slightly slower work week this week, which has been great so far. And so I caught up with a bunch of videos today. One of the ones that I wanted to talk about, though, was the so Phil Sardo, who his Wick, he did one like a year ago or something. This one is on more commonly used wicks that we're using these days. And he put up organic cotton balls, which most of us use, Japanese cotton, the Kojendo specifically, hemp, and rayon. And he kind of did it, not very scientific, but sort of a practical sort of test. And he put like a 3mm hole, several of them in a sheet of paper, construction paper, fed through like a wick's worth on each one of them with all these different things, and set it down in the little tray of VG to see how fast it would go. The video is a normal P. Bizarro, very thorough but very long video, so I watched it so you don't have to. Here's the short of it. The short of it is organic cotton balls came in dead stinking last in wicking, which I found kind of interesting because I've used them for most of a year at this point, and they worked fine. But Japanese cotton was the one that was like came on top, consistently came on top because he did several different tests. So we can't be that surprised of it. I mean, that's what I've been running in my K funds for months now, and it works great. I've been using it for quite some time. I haven't touched a cotton ball in probably a month or two. So that did really well. The hemp stuff from NixWicks, I think .com, that did pretty well, and then rayon, and then the poor sad plain organic cotton ball. So that was the wicking. That was just purely wicking. The other thing that I wanted to call out was he did a flavor. So he took the top two, which would be the Kojendo Japanese cotton as well as the rayon, and he put them in equal K funds, and did several tanks through to see how it would do flavor wise. And he said it was pretty much a dead heat. The only thing that would kind of eke the rayon ahead of it was the longevity of the build. So the one wicking worth of rayon seemed like it lasted a little longer, which is probably that's what we can we can agree with that. I
experienced that myself, dude. Like I've been using Japanese cotton, and I'm changing out my wicks as often as I would with regular organic. When I had rayon, dude, even with like some fairly heavy juices, I can get 4 or 5 days off of cotton.
Sure, which is cool. I mean, I think that's really neat. But he did. I'm glad he brought this up because the last thing he said so the first two, the wicking were both pretty good. The flavor were both pretty dead heat. The rayon took it for how long it lasted. But the last thing he mentioned was the comfort factor, and I would tend to agree a little bit because you've got the rayon is, while it starts off as cotton, right? It goes through a really long chemical process to do a bunch of junk to it to eventually have it down to the base cellulose sort of structure. And there's probably nothing wrong with it. Do what you want to do with it, but honestly, to me, I would just soon be vaping something that grows. That's another reason why I don't use silica either. Well, one of the reasons I don't use silica.
Rayon's great.
So another small piece of breaking news.
Sometimes things just don't grow.
Yeah, exactly.
I have 3 dogs, and I just realized that there is noticeably a dog hair inside of my K-Fun tank.
Man!
I don't even.
The one drawback of rayon, I will say, is that not every juice will taste good on it. I have a few flavors that I vape that I can't do on rayon. But for the most part, though, I like the flavor on the juices that are good on it.
Right.
If there is anybody who's interested in Japanese cotton, I'm going to post a link to where I get mine.
That was actually exactly what I was about to do too. So the Kojendo stuff you can get from Amazon and a bunch of things. You can get a big old thing of it. I've actually been using something called Shadow cotton, which is individually packaged. Like it's like 10 sheets in here, and it's a little bit more expensive than the Kojendo because that stuff is pretty. It's like the Rayon, you know, where it's a health and beauty product, right, that you can buy online. This is something that's been repackaged and stuff, but it looks different than the Kojendo, and I think it actually works a little bit better. But
Shadows.
Yeah.
I've heard decent things about the Shadows cotton, but I tend not to. I tend to be very skeptical of when somebody goes, "This is my special blend."
Yes, no, I agree. And the only reason I tried it is because this is the first stuff I got my hands on quite a while back when everybody started talking about it.
Sounds like you're saying cheddar.
No, Chaddo, and I think it's I think he's Hawaiian and some sort of multinational. But the cotton itself is made in Japan. The thing that gets me though is the fibers in the Chaddo are quite a bit straighter than the Kojendo. And I feel like they're a little finer or something too. But I do know I've seen that they're a little straighter, which is why I've been using it. But works good. Nice guys. The guy that he runs has got his own group and all that sort of junk too. Nice dude. Okay, we did have a comment from last week on our video on YouTube, and it was somebody that was giving some feedback about my little segment on traveling, flying specifically with vape gear. And he brought up a couple points that I didn't really agree with, specifically making sure to take out all of your batteries out of all of your mods to make sure they're super safe. And there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not gonna say I disagree with the fact that it probably is a little safer. However, I will say that you can't take out all the batteries of all of your mods, right? There are some batteries that are lipos, like this guy. You can't take them out. There are other mods that are not easily taken out either, like the Hannas and that kind of thing. And then the other thing that made me chuckle a little bit was a lot of built-in laptop batteries. They use 650 cells too, just like we do. They're just all together in the laptop. So you're obviously not going to disassemble your laptop pack to remove all those things. And those batteries are really no different from what we use here. But he did bring up one good point, which I wanted to mention because I did not mention this last week, and that is lock your mods. If you're going to throw your mod anywhere, especially like in a backpack or something that's getting thrown around and you're not, don't have it on your person, lock your mods. You should be doing that anyway, but you should definitely be locking your mods before they go out of your immediate, in your hand sort of thing. Let's see. What's the next thing I got here? Ah, yes. So, what up, everybody?
Did you see the message, Anksy?
What?
About the picture that you wanted me to pull up?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I need that.
Need that URL. That's coming to you right now. So, what up, everybody? Vaping with Twisted 420 has returned.
You got to do the.
Yeah, that's what I was doing it. So, Twisted, who we had on the show a couple months ago, nice guy. He just did a review of a mod that I thought was kind of interesting. I also want to give a hat tip before I get too far into this to D-Scaper, who was on Twitter, and he alerted me to this just a little while ago. And I watched the video, and I wanted to share this with people because this is directly relevant to something that Mass has been talking about recently. This is a box mod that is being sold that is by Brickhouse Box Mods.
Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, you can go ahead and throw it up so you can see what it looks like. So this appears to me to be a Hammond B box, and it's dual 26650 or 18650, but the one that he was reviewing is a 26650. And there's nothing wrong with any of this stuff. It's unregulated Mech box. But the thing that got me was, Mast, you flipped horizontally there.
Oh,
you did,
sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So that last point down there is something that intrigued me. So I looked at it a little closer. It says 100% pure mechanical, no wires, no MOSFETs, no chip. I was like, So as I was watching the video, if you take the lid off of the Hammond box, he's got the little top section where the 510 and the switch and stuff are. He's got that all covered up, kind of Hanna style, and all you can see down at the bottom is the battery sled. Fine. But the problem is, if there's no MOSFET, like Mass has been saying for weeks, if there's no MOSFET, that switch better be able to handle it. Yeah.
So let's go up to that switch again for a second, Mass. Do you want to scroll up there?
So that switch, the thing that he counters with, and he doesn't counter, it's just part of his features that he's listing here, is he says there's a 202 amp button on it, and I thought that was funny, and I thought I'd bring this up and show the pictures, and I thought I'd let Mass say something.
202 amps.
202 amps. I was like,
Oh shit.
because Mast put a picture up of a 200 something amp switch a while back, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And did it look like it could fit in that thing?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Not
And
only
again,
that, but
we know that switch. We've tracked
Wait,
down that switch.
You
We've
said
found
202
that switch.
amps. That's my fuse box.
Yeah,
200
we've
amps.
tracked down that switch. That switch is 3 amp, I'm pretty sure.
Dude, it's this switch.
It looks like that switch. So the thing is, I mean, I'm not an electrician, and one of the things that they've said on their site is
Look,
they have a master
this one
electrician.
has this. Oh, I don't have my camera up. I was gonna say I have a 220 amp switch too. Look at that thing.
Look at there.
Look at that. Ready? 200 amps.
The thing that gets me though is they list that they said they have a master electrician that helped them with their design. So I guess I'm confused more than anything. It doesn't look right to me, but I don't claim to be a master electrician. I don't know.
If you guys know any of these guys, obviously their rules and directions on that they sell their mods with specifically state no touching of the area that has the signature, serial number, whatever it is. If you do, you void your 3, count it, 1, 2, 3 month warranty. So if you have one, don't take the thing off to see what's underneath it if you want your warranty to last. If it's after 3 months, by all means, do it.
If it's only
Send us
3
a
months,
picture.
3 months, go ahead and hack it apart. I want to see it.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious.
No, if you know any other guys too, let us know.
Sure. And like I said, I'm not looking to crucify. I'm more curious. It's just a little
Fuck that, man. I'm looking to crucify.
No, I would much rather them tell us. I would much rather them come out and say, "Here, this is the thing that we're using. It's totally safe," and then I'll be okay with it.
Here's the thing, man. If you're going to be a mechanical box modder, and you're going to tell me that your switch is capable of 202 amps, or 60 amps, or 30 amps, or whatever the fuck you're going to say it is, I want documentation on that switch that proves that shit. Funny story about mechanical modders. I did a few guest spots on Vapors TV last week. And I met a guy who linked me to a mech box that he's planning on getting, which happens to be the one that we crucified on the show the prior Monday.
Neat.
The guy's friends with the modder, so he got me in touch with the modder, and me and Mass jumped in a hangout and we talked to the modder. That modder is now considering using a MOSFET in his box.
Cool.
And we had a very long conversation about it. One of the things is he linked us to where he got his switches, which his switches were listed as a 60 amp switch. He got the switch rankings where he bought the switches from eBay, and we talked specifically about that before as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mass, do you need me to pull you up here?
Yeah, go ahead, because I'm just wanting to show the part where it says tampering with the serial number plate and or attempting to repair the product will void any and all warranties. And now, mind you, this is for their 26650 mod. This was on June 7th, and you could see this is a email to the company that's selling this on eBay. So this is for a slightly different mod because it doesn't have the adjustable 510, all that other stuff, but it's still a mechanical box, okay? It just has a different 510. So it looks like an older version of this. Now, you look up here, it tells you, always use an ohm reader to ensure the atomizer being used is not below 1 ohm. That's 1.00 ohms, okay? It does have stacked batteries, and it comes with a 3-month warranty. So, if you're into that stuff, go ahead and get it. Wait your 3 months and then rip that thing off, and let's see some pictures if you have them. Send them in. We'd love to see the inside of this Super Also 200.
And just to be clear, the only reason I'm not crucifying is because I'd actually like to see it. I think they're on the cusp of being crucified, but I want to see what's under there before I.
Yeah.
We need proof.
Yeah.
Like I was in I don't remember what Facebook group this is. This was like 5 or 6 months ago, and I believe there was someone wanted to do a pre-order for Mechbox, and he just posted pictures of the outside, and he was a little perturbed when I asked him if I could just see under the hood because I would hang out with Mast and I always see what he's doing. I was curious, and he was a little perturbed when I asked. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, that should be a red flag to everyone. I don't care who the modder is. I don't care if they're the most famous person. You have a right to see what the shit you're putting your face up to.
Yeah, especially if
And
it's on record.
if you're not asking, then it doesn't bother you one bit, then that's fine. No
I'd go
problem.
one step further. You have a right to know what part. If it's not a custom machine part, you have a right to know what part they used.
That's true.
And maybe it is. Maybe they've ripped that out, and because I saw a mention somewhere that the reason it's covered is because that's proprietary, and
That's not a proprietary switch, though.
if it's well, yeah, but maybe they're using that switch housing or something, and they've got something wacky going on underneath the hood. I don't know.
There's a possibility.
You know, that's like I said, that's why I'm not pulling out the crosses. I just want to know because that's weird to me.
Well, when we do, I know a really good woodworker.
Somebody asked if we're casting their 202 penny nails right now to put the crucifix together.
No Volbeater. Well, Volbeater. Sorry.
I love all of you in chat.
Me too.
Indeed. Well,
We have lovely viewers. I just want to put that out there. We have some of the most phenomenal viewers ever.
we do, and I appreciate every one of you tuning in. It's awesome. I had something else, but I don't know if I'm gonna talk about it until it comes in.
Oh, just say it.
I bought a neat Addy. So a friend of Sean's, and then that we got to meet and hang out with a bit during Mania. I had an extra invoice for a SAT-22, so I finally found one.
I found a 200 amp switch.
Dude, I told you my fuse box is rated for 200 amps.
That looks perfect, dude.
I can make that fit.
Yeah, dude, just cram a couple batteries in that.
Yo, you could seriously put like 8 Dukes in there.
So I said a while back that I haven't given Jenny's a fair shake, and I admit it. I'm a Silica build, K-Fun and Rose fan. And if I'm not using those, I'm dripping. And I need to give Jenny's another shake. I feel bad about it, and I keep hearing that was a really good one. So I'm gonna pick one up. I'm gonna see if I can't get it built, and I'm gonna report back and see what my findings are. And that's all. Masty, what you got, man?
I'm up, fucker.
Yeah, he's up.
Oh, my bad. Sean's what you up, fucker?
Get it?
We mentioned Twisted, so I'm going to mention Twisted again because, and I can't speak for the validity of this. It was a Facebook post, but I thought it was interesting enough to comment on. Logoless clones may soon become the norm. An inside source shared with him. Here's what's going to happen soon. The shot callers, the vape game leaders, like the guys that run Cali Vapors, Vaporev, Skeleton Keys, Fomesto, Atmo Mixoni, are spending a lot of money on lawyers to attack clone makers and sellers.
Shit just got real.
They have money to fight back. Apparently, they're going after factories in China. I'll get to that in a minute. Big distributors here in the U.S., in China, as well as websites and Vapor Tech. They're forming legal teams in China, along with working with customs to find these products before they leave China and confiscate them for evidence. Products to avoid cloning, pretty much anything that's Cali-based, along with Atmo Mixani or Svomesto. So I don't understand. First off, I don't understand why you would ever attack China.
Right.
As far as attacking people otherwise, attacking U.S. companies,
Distributors and companies, yeah.
it's gonna happen.
Sure.
It's been happening. It's gonna happen. Do I think a lack of logo is really gonna make that much of a difference, though? Probably not. Partially, if you're going after a trademark, but that's only gonna go so far. It'll be another step, but
That's the only thing they can go after, though.
for now, yeah.
Yeah. And
I mean, I'm pro logoless clones anyway.
right. We've said that for a long time. If they don't have the logo and they're not pretending to actually be that thing, then that's at least a little bit better.
And that's honestly market economics at that point.
Right. Totally.
That's all on that. I just wanted to make people aware of that. So you remember a while back we had on the wonderful and lovely Joe Litt. So Joe Litt got a hold of me, and his list is all cut up.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's selling shit direct from a website. You order, he ships. It's done. You get it right away. That's it.
Yes.
And he got a hold of me, and he said he has 41 mods in stock. 41 mods. And I'm guessing part of that might be because fucking nobody knows where to get them.
Well,
so if you go to litupcustommods.com, you can get yourself your very own Nintendo controller. Bam. And you'll have it in like a couple fucking days, which is unheard of for a product that before was a 6-month waiting list.
6-month wait, absolutely.
It was a unicorn at one point.
Yeah. So now it's available. Now you can go buy one. I thought that was worth a mention when he told me he was selling them on a website, because I know a lot of people who just didn't want to wait.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I don't think it was a question of knowing where it is, although it's good to get the link out. It would be a question like for me, if all of a sudden if I felt like I'm replacing mine real quick, I would just assume that there's a big list because there's been a big list for a year and a half.
Did people even know he was selling like this?
Right.
So I threw the link in chat. It is litupcustommods.com if anybody's interested in picking one up.
Sure.
And on the other mod news...
Wait, before you do that, I want to ask a question because I want him to start typing while we're asking it. Somebody was telling me about, Duro762 by 39 said, Jesus angst, the limo, Lemo, is better than a K-Fun, and I want to know what that is.
So tell us what the limo is.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
So we did that big Dog Mods giveaway last week.
The limo is a I would describe it as a airier, tank kind of K-Funny setup. Twisted did a review on it a while back, say about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I was looking at the time. I was looking to get one, and it was pretty hard to get them. So I'm sure they're more prevalent now. But I ended up getting the Orchid versus that at that time. So it'd be interesting to get one in.
Well, if somebody's got a link, I'd be curious to see it.
And actually, as another update, I wanted to give a shout out to Devin, who we met at Mania 2. He just sent me a message about a thing that he's got with stats on the brick house, and it says our design has been tested to as low as 0.02 ohms without failure. So maybe that's with the old one, Mass, that we found on eBay, or you found on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
The 1 ohm thing.
Oh yeah, but everybody that's got a Mech box says they've tested it down to 0.02.
Yeah.
Okay. Why? Because that's probably as low as you can go before shorting your damn shit.
Yeah.
So I've seen 0.02. I've seen 0.04, 0.05. That's great. You could be using a 3-amp switch doing that. Now again, how long is that going to last? How is it going to fail? All that other stuff. So, are you done?
No, not yet.
No, I interrupted. Sorry.
I have one more thing. The custom dog mods. I want to talk a minute about it because it's
dude.
Mm-hmm.
That thing's so awesome.
Look at that.
You know you're making. Yeah, you're making some cool stuff when other modders are like, I want.
Yeah. But look at that Plumes logo, fucking awesome. And to the guy who made it, the guy who won the staff, that's cool as shit. So this is what's in it. He will not share a picture of it all assembled on the inside, and I don't blame him. But that's what fit inside that box.
Hey, somebody had a good point in chat. We failed to mention that the outrageous price of that brick shit house box or whatever it was, it's $165.
$165 for an unregulated mod in a Hammond box with no engravings.
There's dumbasses out every day, I tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the inside of the Dog Mods box, and I was talking to Nick, and he said he's been using it all day. Since 8 a.m. this morning, using it all day. That battery that's in it, what did he say? He went from full charge to 3.86 volts from 8 a.m. to now.
6,000 mile, right? 6,400?
6,400 mile, I believe, yeah.
C-Death is in the chat. He said, I'm super stoked with 4X.
And that will be going to C-Death.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if Nick has any intention of ever building another one like this. So C-Death, you may have just hit the mod jackpot.
Yeah, I'd say.
And it looks like we're getting some links for the other thing.
I got the limit. It's an E-Leaf product. Apparently, it's $50, and it is. But it's 23 millimeter diameter. I'm out.
Yep.
23 mil is gonna look stupid on all my mods.
Yep.
I'll keep it up though. I'll look at it a little bit closer later.
That's all I got, Massey. What do you got?
So one of the things I wanted to talk about, actually I got two. So the first is, seeing a bunch of reports and seeing more and more people as our vaping culture gets more and more popular. Unfortunately, you start seeing more and more thefts, and whether it's mods, whether it's your equipment that you're leaving around or anything like that, I think people need to start keeping an eye on their mods, on their tools. I mean, I hate to say it, you go to a meet and you're at a table with a few friends and some of the people are walking around. If you have a mod, I don't care if it's something cheap or expensive, it can easily grow legs and walk out. So, and I think just today there was somebody on the front page at a shop. This is a shop that's got cameras everywhere, and one of the workers' personal mods was stolen. I mean, you see the guy reaching right over the counter, puts it in his pocket.
I knew a guy who worked at a shop out in, I think, Utah, and some lady fucking asked for them to grab something. The guy turned around and she reached right around the fucking corner and grabbed something. They got it on video and everything. Like,
yeah,
I agree. Don't fucking put your shit down.
Don't put your mods down. I mean, I know you guys, we've talked about this before.
I do it all the time at work. It's actually really funny.
What, put your mod down? Or reach around?
Dude, I'll leave it. There have been times I've left it halfway up the bar.
Yeah.
The same thing's happened to Pantheon several times. But they've got HD security cameras that are streaming to the web, and they still have people stealing stuff. So yeah, don't leave your stuff around.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of this stuff, a lot of these things are, you could throw this in your pocket. No, I mean, you could have a coat, something. You just put it in there, and you can still be walking around, and people won't know what happened. So. They can even, and even getting you on video. I mean, the one that stole that ZNA, the only reason that guy was caught was because he had stolen other stuff before and other people had seen him. So they were able to track him down.
Yeah.
But, keep an eye on your stuff. I know that's something that a lot of people sometimes in the, having fun, having a few drinks, all that, your mod walks away, and if you have a device that you've paid, above $50 or even below, something a person has. Now you're on the ride back, no mod, and you need your nick, and so keep an eye out on stuff. Next thing I have is I was sent the Sigelei 100-watt mod. Let's take this gigantic attic off of here by one of our buddies, and sorry, Machete, I don't know your username, so I'm not going to call you by your real name. But there you have it. There's the Sigelei 100-watt. You guys have seen it. Let's look at the inside of the... Got my matched batteries in here. And we'll have to do a Duke comparison. How many Dukes it'd be. Well, shit. What the hell's my Duke box? I probably used it to measure something. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it was when I was making the box for the batteries, for the exploding batteries. I was using it to measure some. So, there's your El Duca size box, and here is the Sigelei.
So it's like 1.08 Dukes.
No, it's about, because it looks about the same size.
Sure. Well, you know what? Why are we doing this shit on the camera all jankified? Let's get a real measurement here. So we got on the Sigelei we got 4.01 inches, and on the Duke box we're at 3.9. And widthwise,
they're bigger, huh?
Yep. Widthwise we're at 2.2 inches on the Sigelei. And on the Duke box, we're at 1.97.
I told you about 1.08 Dukes.
And depth-wise, we're at 0.9. And the Duke is probably a little bit bigger on that end. Yeah, 103. So, very close. Good weight. Nice, informative screen. Okay. Nice button. Nice clicky button. And up and down.
P9 for life.
Yeah, it's not a P9. So, And what we're going to do is, during tech time, we're going to take this some bitch apart. All the way apart. I'm talking about all the way apart. So you guys can see the inside and stuff. And
Will we be using gasoline?
Yay, modding point.
no, we won't be using gasoline. We'll be using alcohol. But it burns cleaner. I must say, I'm impressed by this until we get to the point of the 510. Worthless piece of shit. Here's why. You have a reverse threaded. Okay, let me get that thing to focus. Let me click on my screen here so I can see what the hell I'm doing.
Blow the vapes at it.
That only works with me.
The Fubaka trick.
No, it was focusing earlier. It's probably got freaking vape juice all over it from it. Okay, there you go. The guy that sent it to me had done that to the pin because nowhere in the directions did it say it was reverse threaded. Okay, it makes sense because when you're pushing the pin, when you're putting an addy on it, you don't want it to be threaded normally because that'll just push the pin down, and when you're taking it off, it'll come up. So reverse threaded, and
wait, the adjustment is reverse threaded?
That's correct.
Okay.
And I'm not kidding when I say it's a copper sleeve that's threaded that you put the adjustment screw into. The thing is tiny. It is, I mean, it's probably the size of a BB, okay? And it was in the box, and I opened the box, and the thing falls out. I'm like, what the hell was that? And I see it, little copper thing, and putting it in there and trying to get that thing to line up. And, I mean, I know that it's probably going to come with it, and they are updating it. Supposedly the version 2 or something like that is going to have a different 510. But this thing is very close to being able to have an adjustable 510 put in it, spring-loaded. I don't know if they were worried about any heat issues or anything like that. I mean, it is an aluminum box, but I'll show you when we take this thing apart why I don't think they went with an adjustable 510. So there you have it. We'll be vaping on it all night. Battery life did pretty good. I haven't gotten to use a full day out of it, but probably wore it down, I'd say about 6-7 hours, wore it down to about 20% with dual 18650s, and these were the VTC 5s, or I'm sorry, these were the VTC 4, these 2100 mAh that I had in here. So batteries didn't get hot, the mod itself didn't get hot. Was running at 100 watts, and I had it on a, I believe, let's see what ohm coil. I believe this was a 0.6 dual coil. Let's see. So yeah, 0.6. So this is actually firing a 0.6 ohm coil at 100 watts at 7.8 volts. See if we can get it to focus. There it is. There it is firing. Okay. Not bad on the battery sag either. You see it go from 84 to 85 as I'm firing it.
It jumped down to 75 real quick there too.
Okay. The other gripe that I have about this, and I've been told that the reason is because the problem that I have is the delay. There is a very noticeable delay on pushing the button and getting this thing fired up.
Right.
Now, if you're built really low, you're probably not going to see as much of a delay because you're going to heat up quick. But I've tested it with a 28, even a twisted 28 build, and the delay still there. And they're saying is because the button. Now, this is what they said was the button has multiple functions on it, so that's why there's going to be a delay. I call bullshit because there's plenty of devices that have the power button used as multiple selections where it's 5 on, 5 off. You could do stuff with it like the DNA, like the SX chip, and there's no delay. So other than that, great device. So we'll be taking it apart later, and we'll check out the inside.
Word.
Nice. Is that all you got, Masty?
That's it.
So we've been running here for 52 minutes.
Let's take a second and talk about the giveaway, shall we?
We should.
So, sorry to everybody again. This is another preferred method of delivery is Facebook for this one, but we are going to be giving away some LabRat Liquids tonight.
Well, we're not.
Well, LabRat is. The contest is best slogan for LabRat Liquids. There's the Facebook if you're not in it. We'll probably take them in chat, but we can miss the ones in chat, which is why I recommend throwing them in the thread.
I want to make the thread right now.
Just now posted. I had it ready already.
Oh, you had it ready? Okay, good.
On that note, it is time to introduce our guest, the one and only LabRat Liquids.
LabRat.
Oh, hello, LabRat, my long lost brother. What's
How
up?
you doing, LabRat?
Good. Thanks for having me on, man.
Welcome.
Welcome, sir.
Wait. So is it LabRat? Is it LabRat? Dubrat?
LabRat sounds.
LabRat.
Rat?
I prefer you. I know this
Rat?
I've been called
Jersey?
many names.
I mean, what is it?
Jersey?
I've heard LabRat,
Wait,
LabRat, LabRo.
what was that? What did we hear in the background?
Right, you see that?
That would be the owner, the real owner of LabRat
Yeah,
Liquids,
Mrs. LabRat, yeah.
Mrs. LabRat, up in the house.
So,
What you
LabRat, what is it specifically that you're giving away for the best slogan?
LabRat.
50 mil of each juice.
A 50 mil of each juice.
Yeah.
Damn.
So it's
And he's got
three
and
different
he's got three.
flavors. Baked blue, baked banana, brown Betty, a 50 mil of each in 0, 3, or 6.
When
Depending.
did LabRat get a mustache? What is this?
We'll take a slogan in chat. If you don't have a Facebook, I'm gonna hope to God we don't miss it.
Right.
I'm trying to keep up with you guys with the beards, you know?
So tell us, what started LabRat's Liquids? Give us the backstory here.
I wanted to make juice really for myself is how it started, and then I let some people try it and they liked it, and then some more people tried it and people were starting to kind of like, buy it out of the trunk kind of thing, where they would, meet me and buy it, and it started to get more and more, and then actually when I first started vaping, the Long Island vaping scene was really not that huge yet, and it's getting bigger and bigger as time goes on, but out here there really wasn't any shops that had like a lounge in it or were having meets or anything like that, and then Fluid Vapor opened, and they were the first place out it's in Bohemia, that opened up where they had a lounge and started doing meets every Saturday, and I started meeting people that were into it, and then they took notice recently of the juice, so they actually started wholesaling the juice and selling it in their store, and then it just kind of took off from there. So.
But we see more people start their juice companies like that, like just kind of creative people that want to try their hand at DIY and they're good at it, and people that they let sample it or whatever go, damn.
And then they want it, and then they end up making juice for their buddies for free, and then they end up losing money.
Well, one thing that was important to me was I wanted to make juice that didn't taste like perfumey or chemical, or there was a lot of times when I would get juice from, places, and I would hate it, and I'd hate the fact that I spent money on it, and that it was almost unvapable. So I just wanted to make something that I could vape that I knew was going to be good every time for me, and then other people liked it, so it was like, okay.
Well, I gotta say, man, like I have vaped hundreds of juices. Your 3 bakeries, for what they are, for what they're going for that crisp, pie-ish kind of vape, they're probably the 3 best that I've had like that.
They're high quality, and this is coming from somebody who's not a bakery person. Like that's not a flavor profile that I ever vape. And
It's all about that raspberry mint.
it's all about the light fruits and stuff for me. But yeah, man, this stuff really is banging. I really enjoyed it.
Thanks, man. It's awesome to hear that stuff. You know.
Specifically, and we always joked about other juices that everybody has their one, but I think it's really great that you're focusing on 3 right now and getting those like nailed down, which I think you have. But my preferred is the Baked Blue. I think that one to me is the standout because
Brown Betty is mine.
Baked Blue was the first one that I made, and was the way I made juice was I'll vape it all day for like a week, and if I couldn't vape it all day for a week straight, if I was going to get sick of it after a week, then I'm not going to, put it out. Like, so all the juices, there's only 3 of them, but the 3 that I have, like, I'm confident in that they're good juice. So I look at it as, put something out that's really good. Don't put something out that's okay.
I told LabRat, like, what was it, 2 months ago, 3 months ago? I'm like, dude, you got to make an apple pie.
And it's out of this fucking world.
There aren't that many apple pies, and I'm just like, I would like a really solid one. And that became Brown Betty.
And I got to say, too, dude, and you mentioned it here in chat, but I want you to tell everybody. You were also kind enough for anybody who doesn't win to open up a coupon code for people who want to try as well. So do you want to let those guys know that?
Oh, yeah. What I did is until next Friday at midnight, I'm going to do Plumes of Hazard, a coupon code on my site for 15% off.
Sweet.
You gotta spell it right.
Gotta spell it right.
It's 1 Z in the coupon.
I will say this about LabRat here. We've been in the Hangout for a long period of time. And I mean, I met him in person at VaporCon last year, and every time he's been in the Hangout, it seems like he's always, which is almost daily, has always been researching and asking questions and looking and really doing not, I'm going to mix this, I'm going to mix this, and I'm going to make this, and wow, it tastes great, done. And I've said this before, but I think it's important to state that when a juice maker, he says, he started because he wanted to make juice for himself, all that, and then wants to outdo himself and continue bettering the product and making something that, is really something he feels that's good. You're gonna have mistakes. You're gonna have, you're gonna have things that don't come out just right, and he continuously kept just saying, okay, well, I'm going to try this, and had people test it and got a lot of feedback. So kudos to you for taking the time, taking the money, which is very difficult. I mean, I remember at one point he wasn't able to send any samples because it was so expensive to be doing all of this because he's starting out with 3 flavors. So, and I think it makes a great impression on people when you see that someone has actually taken their time and done their research, and this isn't just going to, wherever it is, JuiceDB or whatever, and figuring out numbers and putting some juice together. And I think that shows through his popularity of his juice, because I can honestly say that a lot of it has been word of mouth, and I think that's the best kind of advertising you can get, because it's no bullshit. I mean, you're gonna have people that tell you, "I don't like the juice." You're gonna have people that tell you this is the best thing ever.
But word of mouth is free.
Well, and I appreciate hearing it because it validates what I did, which was I went out, like you said, to people and I said, don't stick around with me and tell me that it's good. Like, if there's something you don't like about it, tell me, because I'll fix it. I'll make it better, or I'll, do what I can.
I feel like you also, from knowing some of the people that you sent it to, you've been pretty specific to get it in the people's hands who would give you the most criticism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, to that point, Project 2501's in chat right now, and he said, real talk, LabRat is one of the most solid dudes I've ever met, and his juice is incredible. And for somebody like Jay to say that means something. Homeboy's done a lot of juice reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's not one to mince words either. He doesn't.
Yeah, he's not.
Right.
He's not one to hesitate on the crucifixions at all.
But I just think that
Ever.
Well,
LabRat
neither
is
is
right. No, yeah, definitely. But I think that part of you doing what you did and coming about the ways, you weren't like, try this shit, it's the best shit ever, and I've just been making juice for a week.
Dude, he has consistently been humble about his product.
Right.
Even
Exactly.
through it getting popular.
Exactly. And those are the things that there's quality in the juice when you don't hear the juice maker pounding on his chest and saying this is a great juice. You don't see him. He's behind the scenes. And that's how I think a lot of this stuff you're redeemed, by not saying anything and just doing what you do, which is making juice and letting everybody else talk about your juice.
Yeah, I figure the juice will sell itself. You know what I mean?
And dude, it really is. It is. I don't say this very often. It is a very special product in the sense that it is not. It is on that level of good. It is on that level of great, where most stuff is just good,
Oh, thanks. I like hearing that. I mean, it did take a lot of work and a lot of time, and
So talk about the process a little bit. How did you come up with it? From how you came up with the juice to the origin behind the name.
What were you vaping on when you developed it?
That too.
So it probably started as an idea around after VaporCon of last year, and I had down to VaporCon with Fluid and saw that was my first con, and kind of saw what was going on in the whole industry, and tried a lot of juice and wasn't really all that happy with it, and I was tired of dumping my money into juice that for me it just wasn't what I was looking for. There's a lot of great juices out there that I love too, so I'm not making it like I don't like anybody else's juice, but the main goal was for me to make something for myself that I'd be able to vape all day. And like I said, then I let other people try. What I was vaping on when I probably first made Baked Blue was a Duke and a Nimbus dual coil, just a regular dual coil, probably around 0.5, 40 watts. I never really cranked the Duke all the way up,
But you designed your juice for fairly high power vaping.
Yes, yeah, for dual coil, high wattage vaping, and it
That's not necessary though. I'll tell you that, because I'll tell you that I vape Brown Betty in my Hellfire.
With your tight butthole area.
I did try it out of the Hellfire.
And it's
I
really
actually
good.
have baked banana in the K-Fun, and it's great. It works fine. It's max VG, and it's definitely heavy VG, so I don't want to advertise it or tell people go throw it in a tank and it's going to work great, because typically it's not going to. Are there builds that you can get it working for VG? Yeah. But
You'll definitely get different notes.
Yes.
Depending on what you put it in.
Yeah, and when the notes that I was developing were for builds that were 0.5 and below.
Yeah. So I know this is one that we've kind of been pushing you a little bit to talk about. And we've talked to you enough that I feel that you're educated enough on the subject. I'm gonna talk a little bit about it first, because there's been this big scare, right, about diacetyl being potentially a contaminant in 80% of our e-juice.
Sure.
So to talk about that for a little bit, let me just throw this out there. What we've seen so far, first off, Suicide Bunny. Suicide Bunny sent their juices in for testing. They were one of the people who had been called out. They got it back. Nothing. They're clean. They're good. Awesome. So, Halo, right? Halo did a test. Cigarettes contained significantly more diacetyl than e-juice.
And when was the last time you heard of popcorn lung coming from a smoker?
Exactly. So, And I mean, what we're talking about is we're talking about flavor companies do not have to report diacetyl or acetone, right, Libre?
Yep.
Well, diacetyl was originally used, and then, from my understanding of it, acetone and acetylpropanol are two different chemical compounds that are used in place of diacetyl.
Okay.
But they also, like acetone can, under certain circumstances, catalyze into diacetyl.
That's right. Yeah.
These are trace amounts.
That's the point.
It does still exist, and so it is still a concern.
Flavor companies do not have to report it if it's under a. And it does not have to be reported as an ingredient.
Right.
Meaning there could
less
be
than 5 parts per million.
Yeah. So what we're talking about is we're talking about 5 parts per million in a flavoring compound that is maybe 10 to 20% of a juice. So 5 parts per million of 20% of what's in the tank that you're vaping.
Right.
And somebody just said Suicide Bunny didn't test everything. So that very well may be the case. But still, we're talking about, for the most part, less than 5 parts per million of 20% of the juice that you're vaping out of.
Yeah,
I have never once gotten up here and said that vaping is 100% safe.
Because it's not. There's any number of things that we do that's got possibly have problems, right?
I do strongly believe that it is a safer alternative or a safer option.
Harm reduction, baby.
Yeah, and these numbers are proving harm reduction, not necessarily completely safe. But I know you've done a lot of reading and stuff on this, Mark. So, you want to speak to this a little bit.
I mean, as far as like the flavorings that I use they have a full MSDS. I can get all of the chemical compound list outs, and so. There's no diacetyl in any flavoring that's used by the flavoring company that I use. The problem is that why people are in an uproar is that they're testing juices after. So the flavoring company is saying, no, there's no diacetyl in this in flavor A, flavor B, and flavor C. But after
I have to correct, it's 5 parts per million in a whole bottle of e-juice in the finished product.
Right. So. Now you threw me off.
Sorry.
God damn it,
Freaking Sean!
I know, I'm an ass.
Yeah.
We want to remain correct because that is true. Shay is threatening to fire you if you fuck up.
I know, I saw. We want to remain as correct as.
Where I was what they're finding is that some of these juices, even though the flavoring companies are saying there's no diacetyl, after they're testing the final product, that there are trace amounts of diacetyl in the product. So,
and I may have missed it.
I'm actually getting my juices tested. So,
yeah.
Just to find out, because the flavoring company is telling me, no, there's no diacetyl in it, but hey, why not get the test done and find out?
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to point out, because, we want to... This is something, so going way back a little bit, so back in the, a year and a half ago when I was watching Grimm's videos, and he was very firmly with, working with Kasa and that kind of thing, he always says, don't call this, quitting cessation methods and that kind of junk about cigarettes. What this is harm reduction, and he really harped that home, and at the time, I didn't really agree with him because I was fresh off of smoking, and I'm like, I don't care if it's harm reduction, what I know is this helping me quit, and I was... Honestly, at this point, now that I've kind of changed my mind, I do agree that that's what we're trying to do here. We want to take reasonable precautions. We want to try to not do stuff that's dumb on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But we also don't want to forget the whole forest for the trees and all that stuff, right? We want to make sure we're doing something that's less bad than smoking, and then be smart about it. And that's that's all we can really do. If we see something that's going crazy, like the whole diacetyl thing, we want to check. Sure, we want to check.
Now, I'll be honest.
What you brought up just quick, you did bring up cigarettes, and cigarettes have been tested, and the tests that I saw showed diacetyl concentrations that were like 250 to 350 parts per million, which is considerably higher than what was like the exposures to these people that were in these factories that supposedly got popcorn lung from inhaling diacetyl. So the truth really is that testing needs to be done across the board. Just more testing needs to be done into it.
Yeah, and I think we're getting to that point. You know, I will say though, I really honestly feel that it should be the flavoring company and their responsibility to verify the ingredients of their flavoring.
Absolutely.
Well, like in the case of like the Flavors Apprentice, and this is from 2010, so it's a little bit outdated, but they say that their insurance company, basically where they get their flavor compounds from to make their flavors, the insurance company that backs them does not allow them to have diacetyl because of occupational, exposure concerns and stuff like that. Whether or not, they're finding these trace amounts later now, and how much those amounts are, and whether they're considered negligible or whether they're going to cause some sort of,
And that, I think that's really important, and that's something that these FUD, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt stuff that people are putting up in the FDA's touting, that's something that they really overlook is the dosage here, right? Yes, okay, you may have found trace amounts of whatever in it. Sure, I mean, that's entirely possible. If that's within your testing standards and you're able to detect that amount, that's cool, and I'm glad you found it, but it does not matter if it's a stupid little tiny trace amount that's worse, or that's no worse than walking outside for 5 minutes and staying next to a road when a diesel drives by you, right? Yeah. The dosage thing is something that I don't understand why is not being harped on more. I feel like that's the important part.
And a lot of people forget that I don't, I'll say it for myself. I can't speak for everybody, but if I didn't have this, I'd probably be smoking cigarettes.
Absolutely.
And there's 7,000 something chemicals in cigarettes, like different chemicals across the, So it's like, come on, like I know just from vaping that I feel better than when I
totally.
smoke.
So. My taste buds and my smell the week after I quit smoking, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah. The people who are sitting there, harping on this whole diacetyl thing, it's kind of funny because then you can follow, you say what was just said, which is, that's great that you're doing the testing and all that, but you got to keep it fair across the board, and say what the 5 parts per millions means in a real and world environment, and the first thing that they're going to come back and say knee-jerk is well, then I think juice vendors should state that their juice has diacetyl in it. Okay, and that's going to be the next step, and that's the reason why we're doing this. We're doing this testing because of this. When you really know that they're doing this testing right now because it's the hot thing to do.
Right.
Okay. Let's not beat around the bush here. Okay. Because how many people do you get coming in the store saying, does that juice have diacetyl in it?
And there's all kinds of compounds, right? So if you look at a flavoring, like,
agreed.
You can read off the chemical list, and you'd be like, nobody knows what those things are unless you're a chemist, basically.
Right. Well, and I think, picking and choosing, and also, there has to be standard or some baseline that says this is the juice at this date, which is just in a bottle, and then this is the juice after being hit with 100 watts.
Right.
Because where do you draw the line to that? There's going to be some chemicals that are going to be generated when the juice is being blasted at 100, 200 watts versus when it's in a bottle. So what's your baseline,
In the case of like a Max VG juice, too, almost 90% of the bottle of juice you're getting from me, I can't lie, is VG. So, the amount of flavoring that's in there that has trace amounts in the flavor, and now you're putting it at 10 to 15% in a bottle of VG.
Right.
You're talking about really, really, really low amounts of stuff in there. It's mostly VG. So.
Right. Yeah.
I got to throw this out there. I guess we always assume when we do these giveaways that people get it, but this thread is fucking blowing up with like 50 entries a person. First entry. First entry.
Yeah, first entry. I've been filtering all the ones that are multiple entries.
First entry we see, that's your entry. If you don't like the first entry, fucking delete it, and we'll take the next one.
Don't do that because I'm not going to look at it.
I'm gonna switch my camera over. So.
Yeah, switch over.
So do we want to start going through entries then?
Sure, we can do that while Mass sets up, and let's have everybody chat in the side chat when you have a good one here. All right, I'm not going to list everybody's names until we come back. I may list some of them because some of them make me laugh. For example, Falcon Dick Punch always makes me laugh. Every time I see him in here, that name cracks me up. LabRat Liquids, from the streets to your vape meats. LabRat Liquids, some people tried it and they liked it. LabRat Liquids, save a rat, test it yourself. LabRat Liquids, oh, I got that one in there twice. Rat tested, vapor approved. LabRat Liquids approved by the almighty Project 2501. That was not Project that submitted that. LabRat is an American name.
LabRat Liquids, just buy our fucking juice because Plumes of Hazard said so.
Exactly. LabRat Juice. Science, bitch!
I like that.
Splinter Spit is a very, very concise one, but that goes with the promo pick this week that Understudy put together.
Nice.
We didn't cause the Black Plague.
Lab tested, competition approved. LabRat Liquids, just brew it.
Get out
LabRat
of the
Liquids.
sewers and into the lab.
Jeez, that makes it sound really tasty.
I mean,
No rats were harmed in the making of lab rats. LabRat Liquids, a totally legitimate juice company.
LabRat Liquids, best post-sex vape you can get. Source your mom last night.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
LabRat's shits in your mouth and not in your hand. Which
I'm quite fond of infesting a shop near you.
I'm actually getting close to my favorite one here. Despite all my rage, ... I'm just,
Nice.
yeah,
That's
that was
good.
because he didn't list the rest of the lyric. That's right.
I
LabRat
like
Liquid's
that.
the only one I love. And then this one's pretty solid. LabRat Liquids, our rats give it a thumbs, and then there's an asterisk, and underneath it says rats may or may not have grown thumbs during testing.
Yep.
Let's see, badass lab rats, plumes of vapor. And those are the ones that I have.
LabRat Liquids, conceived at VaporCon, not sold out of some guy's trunk, diacetyl free. We don't charge a dime for it. Approved.
That's a
Wow.
little free. We don't charge a dime for it. Nice.
LabRat Liquids, not affiliated with any other animal-themed vaping juice or hardware companies.
LabRat Liquids, milk from the teats of only the finest vermin.
Oh my god, I think I found... LabRat Liquids, we believe in truth in advertising, so our mascot looks like our CEO.
Oh, yo, hold up. Hold up. That deserves this.
Oh, man.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, you know what's terrible? That one has, that guy's already, I've already read one from Matthew Chun.
Oh. Your shit's out of there.
Mm-hmm. But it was very funny. Okay, so Mass, do you want to do yours while we deliberate?
Oh, I do have one more from Kyle. We don't ship to Canada because fuck Canada.
You broke up when you said that. Fuck Canada! So I figured I'd help you.
TechTime.
Alright, let's do this garbage. Am I coming
That was
in?
the worst time to drop.
Test, test, test.
You're good.
Okay, alright. Alright, here we go. So we got the Sigelei 100 watt here. I have blocked out the serial number in case Sigelei's watching this. Fuck you, you're not going to see which one I'm taking apart. So he still has his warranty. And okay, so first screw we're going to take out is this screw that controls this area here that has plastic for the positive and negative. Now, one thing I wanted to say be very careful when putting in your batteries. It looks like they're both going up. No. You got your positive down here, your negative here, positive here, negative here. So even though the poles look the same, it's not. These guys are spring-loaded, so that helps you putting in your batteries. So we're going to pop that guy out of there. So there's your plastic piece, and there's 2 springs in there. The easiest way. Oh, and before we start doing this, don't take your shit apart. Don't void your warranty unless you want to. I'm just showing you so that way you don't have to, so you can see what's inside without taking yours apart. Okay, so here we go. Pop these 2 guys out. It's just got 2 springs, and basically this does not carry any load. The springs don't carry any load. They're just there for helping you put the batteries in and out. Next screws that you're going to want to take out are these 2 small ones down the bottom of the battery sled. These screws are different, so keep these 2 guys together. And while we're doing this, got some good news from the guys who make the vape rags. They are coming out with a like 16 millimeter by 16 desktop one, so that ought to be pretty cool. Hopefully I'll be getting one. So far this thing's been holding up pretty good.
Wait, what? They're making a big, like a desktop vape rag?
Yes, sir.
Ooh, that's cool as shit.
Yeah.
I was saying that we should try to see if they want to put the Plumes of Hazard logo on a few for us.
That'd be kind of cool.
That would be kind of cool.
All right, so you still have 2 more screws here and here, and we've taken those out. Okay.
Look at all those chuff top stains. Sorry.
All right. Now, yours might be held down a little bit. There's no glue or anything holding it down. This whole piece is one single piece. It's going to come up, and you're going to have some wires attached to it. Okay. So we'll pull this up, and this positive wire. I'm going to show you when you're putting this back together. It needs to go below the inductor. Okay. So you want to push that below there so there's space. So here it is in all its glory. Here is the 100-watt Yeehee board. Okay, no numericals on it on this side. It is glued in place, so I'm not going to remove that. It's just your switches and your screen. So we'll hold that up closer so you guys can see that. Now, some gripes that I had about this was, unfortunately, the soldering on these guys. Okay, and I took some better pictures of it just in case you can't see it here, but some of this soldering, and it looks like they've used some kind of super glue. You know how super glue turns plastics white, to actually glue the contacts in. Okay, so that's kind of weird, because over time that glue can do some funky stuff to the metals and to the plastic itself. So there's your negative terminal and your positive terminal back there. Not a good solder joint, to my standards, because you don't see much flow onto the copper itself. So you just see a blob there. And I mean, I know I'm nitpicking, but these are things that, overuse and amperage and voltage drop and stuff like that will affect. So we are going to talk about it. Here's another one that I thought was kind of weird. Is let me get some light in there. The negative, when it goes onto the board, it looks like it's barely making connection. There's a blob on the other side, but that's kind of, you got 2 wires coming together there. That's kind of weird. They just put one on top of the other one. So there's your inductor down there at the bottom. Okay, so you got a good view of this in here. And looks like a lot of relay on this board too. Possibility of making it smaller if the switches were wired in instead of being on the board. So something we might see in the future. And then there's your fire switch and your up and down. Okay. Now let's talk about the 510. It looks like a simple insert with copper internal, okay, and a rubber insulator. And on the inside, this is something that I'm not too sure about this connection here. Let me see if I can get this to show up right. Okay, you see that? That's the bottom of the positive pin, and that has been. It looks like they took. A needle nose, and they squeezed down on it because if you can see, you know, the needle nose will have ridges on it. It looks like they squeezed down on that wire. Let me move this out of the way. See that? Okay. And to try to bend it, because there is no room whatsoever between the positive pin and the battery sled. And remember, this positive pin does not move up and down. What you move up and down is the insert, the copper insert that's in there. And there's your negative connection. Okay, so kind of, you know, kind of interesting. I was very surprised not to see this thing full of hot glue. You know, coming from overseas, there's about a little bit of hot glue there and holding the board in, so not bad. You know, good thick. As you can see, the thickness of the box here is measuring in at, let's see what we got. We'll do this sucker in millimeters. We got a wall thickness of about 1.6. So, and up at the top by the Addy, which is nice, it looks like around 5. So I had a few questions about, hey, will a Fat Daddy or a Veritube fit in there? And my short answer is going to be no. My long answer is without heavy modification, I don't think it's going to. And here's why. Here's the base of the Veritube. Smack flat, you know, we have a flat top here, okay? And mind you, the white piece is coming in contact with the top here of the battery sled, so you can't really drill through this to make any more space because you're hitting a positive end here, okay? So don't do that. So here's the Veritube, and as you can tell, that base is lower than the white piece. It's kind of hard to see from that direction. Maybe we can do it there. So you still have a wire that needs to come out of that. So it's right at the level as the white. And the Fat Daddy one is even worse because it's got the pin that comes out, and people forget. Remember, when you're using these, remember there is a pin that comes out of the bottom that can push and come in contact with something. Okay, and this can actually cut through your wire or cut through something else and make contact with anything you have inside your box. So unfortunately, I think you're stuck with this 510 unless you can, you know, do some kind of modification to, you know, raise it up some. So, you know, I think, and what starts happening is after that is you're threading the inside of that box and you're threading. Now you're going to have machine some of this aluminum away so you can get a nut on there or something, or you can thread it, you know, like a Hannah, but you're going to have to raise it up some, so now you don't have a flush. So, you know, you see where we're going with this. So, put the sucker back together. Remember, you're positive. Make sure you push it down underneath. Okay.
So those are all being assembled by hand.
Yes.
I was just sent an interesting picture of the assembly.
Really? Yeah. I mean, you could tell that they're you know, put together. I mean, they have to. You know, it's. I don't think a machine can be doing this. So
I'm gonna screen share this with everybody. Thanks
cool.
to Dogmods for this. There's a Sigelei 100 watts being assembled.
That is pretty cool. Okay, so same way going back. Make sure you are completely flushed down, and I like to put the small ones from the center in first. That kind of centers everything down. That's a cool picture. Who sent that in? Dogmods?
Dogmod sent that to us.
Cool. Be very careful when you're tightening these guys down because you are going into some areas are plastic, so they're not part of the like this here. You're going into plastic, so just, you know, you don't need to crank down on these. They're not, you know, load bearing. They're not holding stuff up. So there we go. This screw, and the last thing we'll do is we will put this guy back in. Now, there's only one way these guys can go in. Okay, so you put it in like that. You do it with basically these nipples facing down. If you do it this way, it's off. Okay, and you'll know that because when you try to put this guy on, you know, it can only go a certain way. Okay, so I'll show you what this looks like. That's the normal. Okay, the nipples down, and then this is up, so it can't fit all the way in. So put springs. Just grab your springs. The big end on the spring goes against it. Okay, squeeze them together. Push them down in there, and you kind of want to center these guys as best as possible. This piece will do the rest. So push it in, and just be careful with the tabs. Okay, and there you have it. Put the screw in, put your batteries in, and you're ready to go. Really nice to have the pull sleeve to be able to put your batteries in. I found the easiest way to put these guys in is to actually use the push of that nipple there, and you bring up the battery a little bit, and then you push down. So let me get my strap in there. Okay, so there's your negative, and then your positive. Do the same thing. You basically start it, push it in, and then it goes. Cover your strap. This is really nice. Is, you know, the magnetic lid that you can also put screws in it if you want. There you have it. We back alive. Ta-da! Done.
So we're kind of deadlocked. We need Mass Blast to vote in the side chat to decide.
No, screw it, dude. Let's have We should just have Mass Blast vote globally, like out loud, because that will determine the winner and make it suspenseful.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, I need to top 3 or whatever it is.
Yeah, put it in chat, read it, and make your decision.
Okay.
It's in the show notes.
Oh my God, I gotta slow down. What do you mean it's in the show notes? I don't have the show notes open.
Put it in chat for him.
You know what? What you asking?
That's one.
Okay.
I don't know where the hell the other ones are. Oh, there we go.
That one's funny. Do. Okay.
Right. I mean, serious.
Do. Come on. I only see 2.
There's that one.
Third one. All right.
The tiebreaker is on Mass.
Yeah, the tiebreaker is on Mass.
So those are the top 3, right?
Yep.
I say we go with milked from the teats of only the finest vermin.
Yes.
There you go. Cat Dumpling, you are the winner of 3 50ml bottles of...
What?
And the white hosts have been outvoted. Just so you know, Matthew Chun, the white hosts were really rooting for you.
And I picked you, so shoot me one of those bottles over. Just kidding.
Congratulations.
I got my own.
See, I still have to say, man, I gotta give props for we believe in truth in advertising, so our mascot looks like our CEO.
Wait, everybody's asking why LabRat didn't pick it. Oh, here we go.
He was in there.
That actually is the one that I picked. So.
And he picked that one.
There you go.
And he voted.
So much professionalism.
Bitch your bitchin'.
Everybody, damn, no, damn.
Walmadovar.
I picked it.
There you go.
And remember, guys, if you
how
did
come-
not win,
What does he do? You get me his information, just send me an email or something?
Yeah, or you can Cat Dumpling. You can PM me on Reddit.
get a hold of us.
Because we've seen him around, so we know who he is.
He's always here. You can get a hold of us.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, update on Vape Tilly. Thing's still a piece of shit. Won't let me log in.
Oh yeah, they put out an update.
No. Here's they did put out an update because here's the thing. I will get notifications, okay, of people messaging me or liking it, and I've had to go on my wife's iPad and fucking install the thing so I can see the stuff.
So try uninstalling and reinstalling. That fixed my problem. I could log in after that.
Check your TCP/IP settings.
I will
Yeah,
tell you though.
I think my
I will tell you, that I don't even get notifications when somebody sends me a message or something. Like some dude PM me and I didn't even get a notification. They did put out an update, and I haven't checked that out yet though. But I'm still there. I posted some pictures.
I haven't posted.
Yeah, I'm on it, but I'm not a fan of its interface at all.
It's like the bastard child of a poorly designed Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, it reminds me of something out of like 1998 or something.
Well, it's pretty much a direct ripoff of Instagram, except you can put text up there.
Yeah, I think Instagram's just fine.
It sucks.
You think Liz wants pancakes? You think that's the Liz we know?
Probably.
Liz, if it's the Liz we know, let us know.
So again, because LabRat is a very nice person, 15% off coupon code Plumes of Hazard. Plumes of Hazard?
Yep.
You know, we debated over what coupon code we were going to use, right?
You wanted to use crucifixions.
Yeah, hashtag crucifixions would have been great too, but
that or you know, hashtag white people.
Oh yeah,
that
hashtag
would have been
white
insensitive.
Yeah, we talked a little while about coupon codes.
I got sent to sensitivity training last week. Okay, so no more of that.
I did sensitivity training at a job once, and the dude's going around.
Who gives a fuck?
MP3.
Because this is kind of funny. The dude's going around the room and he goes, "What are some reasons why you would be upset that somebody said something insensitive? You know, or why wouldn't you say that you were upset? Oh, we're afraid to, or this, or that." The dude gets to me and goes, "What do you think?" I said, "Honestly?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Because I don't give a shit." And he goes, "I don't really think that's the case." I said, "I really disagree." That didn't go over well.
Not very sensitive. Not very sensitive.
Sounds like it's not a DNA. I don't give a shit.
I'm not very sensitive now.
Not a DNA. Not a hellfire. Not a rose. I don't give a shit.
Well,
Cricket.
we're good on time, I think. So shall we close?
We should, and I
close
want to say
this.
thank you for everybody joining us.
Yeah.
We had a great time tonight.
Wait,
Thank you,
hang on.
LabRat. Thank you, LabRat, for joining us.
Yeah. Well, we did a little touchy-feely thing talking about having fucking amazing fans, and we do. We're almost at 2,000 fucking YouTube subscribers, so thank you to the amazing fucking people who watch this show.
Absolutely, we do this for you because we sure as hell ain't making any money. So,
And it just seems to take more and more time, but it's still fun. So
Hashtag kickbacks.
it is.
to do this.
It is.
And
We get feels kickbacks.
we
That's
do get
what
feels.
do.
We get kickbacks of feels.
We do.
We do.
That needs to be a
Hashtag
thing. That needs to be a thing.
It is. Hashtag feels kickback. Yeah, because you know when you get people coming up to you saying the reason that I did this or I came here, I was it's because of you guys. That's pretty cool.
Dude, that's still pretty mindfucky for me. Like, dude, someone want to take a picture with me. I'm like, me?
There was like lots of hugs and pictures at Vape Mania, and I was like,
hashtag feels, man. Hashtag feels.
Hashtag feel kickbacks.
Feels kickbacks. I like it.
Thanks.
We got a closing song, Matt? Huh?
We do.
Thanks.
For the feels. For everybody out there. One for me, one for the lost homies.